Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our love success story. So today I'm going to be talking with Jodie who is going to share her awesome story of how she not only became an empowered single woman, but also met a really great guy named Wes. So Jodie, if you want to say hello.
Mute myself. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Jodie, so great to have you on here. So if you want to maybe share what was going on for you, what wasn't working in your life and love life when we first met.
Well, I had been in a long-term relationship with a man that didn't serve me well. I was in that comfortable rut. We had dated for 8 years, but the last 3 we really shouldn't have been dating anymore, and we just kind of just stayed just because. And so that was really difficult for me to leave that relationship just because it was comfortable, and I worked so much. As many women who are in powerful positions can understand, you just kind of get where you're in coast mode, right? You go to work, you do the same. So I was doing that for a long time. Anyway, it took a lot of courage to leave that relationship, and but I finally did. And then COVID happened. So not only was I newly single and rediscovering myself and kind of feeling a little floundering, but then COVID happened, and all that loneliness that I think so many of us felt kind of all kicked in all at the same time.
Yeah.
So
So we met, I'm trying to remember exactly, was it about a year ago? I'm trying to remember exactly when we connected.
little better than a year. I think it was the end of 2020. Yeah. So that was just by fluke too. I was scrolling through Facebook and I came along on something, just giving 5 video tips, 5 tips on attracting the right kind of man to your life or something. And I clicked on it, and there you go. I met you.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you as well, Jodie. And yeah, for everybody watching, Jodie is an example of a pretty powerful woman, right? She's a GM in the auto industry. And, sometimes when you are in a powerful position, it can feel like it's harder to find a guy because we tell ourselves a story that men are intimidated by a successful woman, all that kind of thing. But Jodie has managed to turn all that around. So can you share, Jodie, what has changed for you since we worked together? What has improved in your life, I guess, as a single woman first, and then how did you meet your guy?
I guess I didn't even realize before I met you and I started the Transform Your Life program, I didn't even realize that I was harboring so many feelings and resentments and walls from the past. There was so much that I hadn't dealt with, things from my childhood and things from the father of my children, my very first relationship, and then the one I just came out of. So I think that I was angry and I had suppressed so much. So without dealing with that, I was unable to. I guess the old saying goes, "You can't. How can anybody else love you if you don't love yourself?" So we just go through life. We don't even realize that we don't love ourselves and we don't take care of ourselves. So that was the biggest thing that had to change in my life.
Yeah. And so then once accomplish that part, and I remember for you, Jodie, if I may, that as many successful women do, sometimes um, we put so much into our work that we don't leave any time for ourselves. And I think part of your journey was carving out space for yourself in your own life, right? Making yourself a priority.
I'm still working on that too a little bit. I have carved it out. I put time on my calendar every month, but it's not enough time. I need to still carve out more.
Yeah. So tell us about how you met Wes. How did that come about?
Well, that's a funny story actually, because I had been on online dating before I had met you. I tried the Facebook dating site, which was a complete and utter joke. But I also tried eHarmony, which you met better quality men because they were supposed to be this matched personality stuff. But anyway, once you and I started working together, I was also starting my own business on the side. So not only am I a general manager and work 6 days a week, I decided I wanted to start my own business as a retirement plan for the future. So I was a pretty busy girl. I decided I have no more time for men. I'm going to work on myself and work on your program. So I deleted the eHarmony application and thought I'm done with men for a while until I get myself figured out. But about 2 months later, I think I was about halfway through your program when we met, actually. And I got an email from eHarmony, and I was like, well, how did that work? Because I thought I deleted it, but apparently your subscription's your subscription until it runs out, even if you delete the app. So I got an email from him, and he chased me pretty hard. Like, I tried to back off a couple times and said, I'm not sure I'm ready for a relationship, but the universe was talking to us, and everything worked from day one. So he found me, and I tried to push away and say no. And I was used to saying to men, up until this point, I've been chasing men and going, please. And now all of a sudden the one was chasing me, and he was awesome. So it was good.
So what was different about Wes? What did he have that other guys before didn't have?
He was genuinely interested in me and what made me tick. Right from the get-go, he noticed things. When guys don't even remember that you don't like ketchup on your cheeseburger. I use that as an analogy because I hate ketchup. But I mean, that's the example of a shallow man that we don't want to be with. Right? You want somebody who cares about you and notices you. I mean, from day one, he just got me from every aspect, and he would pay attention. He could tell if I was having a bad day just by the way I talked on the telephone, because we had a distance relationship at first. He lived 2.5 hours away. So just from talking to me on the telephone at night, he could tell that I had a bad day, and the inflection in my voice. Who does that? The good ones do, ladies.
Oh, that is so awesome. So what would you say, what's the best things about him and about your relationship?
We do everything together. So there's been trust from day one. We complete each other. I mean, 6 months into our relationship, he moved here. He moved in with me. I had lived on my own for 15 years. And so all of my friends were astounded that I was going to let a man move in that I had just been dating 6 months, because that's weird for me, because I'm sometimes a control kind of person. I do things the way I do them. But we just worked from day one. He just fit into my life like a comfortable shoe. So he actually roofed my house for me this year. How awesome was that? Saved me a bunch of money.
That's amazing. How would you say that your life has gotten better since meeting him?
I'm genuinely happier. I don't have as much crutches. I've always been a bit of a wino. I've really cut back on that. I realized that was a crutch for me. Because maybe I was depressed, or I don't know the reason, but I used to drink wine 5 nights a week for sure, and now it's once a week. So that's something we do together only. I'm happy to come home. I look forward to coming home. I'm carving out time in my own life for me and for us, and yeah, the future just looks brighter. I smile. Everybody tells me I smile more, so I don't know if I was really grumpy before or what.
Well, I would say that you really seem lit up, Jodie, and that's fantastic. So you guys have been together for how long now?
Just a little better than a year and 3 months. So,
and something special happened not too long ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago he proposed. Yay! There it is. So, and I said yes. That's crazy, because I didn't think I would ever get married, honestly.
That's so exciting. So when are you guys getting married?
We're going to get married in December. We're going to Jamaica, and we're going to get married there because we really want to dance. That's the most important thing to us, is that we can dance at our wedding, and we're not sure we can do that in Canada because it seems bad.
That's too funny. Well, right now, hopefully that's going to change soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So what would you say is kind of the key to success in in finding Wes? Like, what part of our work together helped you, do you think, to kind of get there?
Um, well, all of the parts, really, the whole process. I think the most powerful thing that I did in your program for me personally was, I don't remember what it was called, but it was to write letters to people who had hurt me in the past. And then I read them, and then I burned them. And it was like a release and letting that anger go. And I honestly remember just feeling so much lighter, and everything kind of shifted after that point. And each exercise after that had great meaning. But that was the big shift in learning to forgive myself. I didn't even realize I was angry at myself, but I think I was, or maybe angry is not the right word, but I certainly had to forgive myself and learn to love myself. So that every step is important. Your program was life-changing for me.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I think, to your point, a lot of women will say to me they don't trust men, but really the issue is they don't trust themselves to choose the right person. So when we let go of all the wrong people we've picked before, we forgive ourselves for it. It makes it easier to see when somebody is the right person, which I think is what
Absolutely.
happened for you. It's why you were able to identify so quickly that no, this is what I've been looking for, right?
Absolutely. Well, funny actually, because I wasn't done the program. And when Wes and I first started meeting, I came across the lesson to build your ideal man. And he just checked off 90% of my boxes. I was like, huh. So that made it easier to choose too.
That's so exciting. So to women watching you who've been single for a long time or been in a lot of relationships that haven't worked out and feeling, are there really any good guys out there? What would you have to say to that?
Absolutely, that there's good guys out there. I think that we put out a vibe, um, just that by energy. And even as I met Wes, I mean, we became such instantaneous though, but there was actually opportunities happening all the way around me. And people had told me my aura had changed. And so Wes and I were already dating, and I'm pretty much a one dating girl, even though some people say you should date multiple guys. But that's not really my personality. But I had lots of other opportunities also that came all at me at the same time. So I think my aura really just changed, and it was what I was putting out there that I became more approachable. And it has nothing to do with the way we look, or, I mean, because I'm a little overweight and I work too much, and, I'm far from a perfect woman. So what changed between before and after was only me, like only inside of me. That was it.
I love that, Jodie. I really love that. I've always had the belief as a coach that there's somebody for everybody, and all the things we tell ourselves that aren't good enough about ourselves. And every woman has a story around that, whether it's weight or age or education or something. We all tell ourselves there's some reason why, but that really isn't true. It's really how we feel about ourselves. And you can see in you, in the way you're talking tonight, you're just really lit up, and you have
Yeah.
this confidence in yourself that I don't exactly remember at the beginning. So I think it's something that you've really developed. So it doesn't surprise me that you attracted a really great guy who then pursued you because he saw what we can see.
Certainly.
Which is really, you were always that person. It's just a question of believing in your own value, right?
Absolutely. It's funny that you bring up confidence, just because obviously being a woman, a position in power, like 20 years in the auto industry, I carry myself with a lot of confidence, but it was a fake confidence. And if that makes sense to anybody, I was really good at showing the world that I was confident, but deep down inside, I wasn't. I was very self-conscious. It was like that little thing that you don't tell anybody, secret. So I would go home and I would beat myself up over things like about my weight, or about the way that my voice sounded, or the way that I walked or talked, or all these things, because I give myself those excuses. But the confidence, the only thing that changed in my confidence level is that the little kid part of me went away. I got to push him away. No, the one that said, "You're not good enough." We are all good enough. Every single one of us is.
Yeah, so to women who are struggling in love and to find what they're looking for and feeling discouraged and thinking it's never going to happen for them, do you have any last words of wisdom you'd like to share?
Love yourself and it's going to happen. You have to love yourself. You have to love all of you, even the parts that you don't like. You know what? I'm still struggling with the weight. I still wish that I was 20 or 30 pounds more, but I still love myself. And I look in the mirror and I tell myself every day that I'm good enough and that I'm worthy of love and companionship. And that change, that attitude alone, if you could do that and mean that, that will change your life. But it takes steps. You have to go through every single step. I don't think that your program is beautifully built in the fact that you can't skip. There was actually some places I had to go back and relook at just because I didn't give it enough time, and it's a process.
Yeah, and clearly you found somebody who does accept you exactly the way you are and loves you for that. So, whether you change anything about your body or don't, he obviously loves you the way you are because he proposed to you. Yeah, I was
Absolutely.
so happy for you, Jody. So
Thank
thank you so much for coming on tonight.